Hi, I'm Chrissy,
And I'm Jess,
and this is Financial Progress.
where we break down the money game in a way that makes sense for real life.
Welcome back or welcome to our podcast. Today, we're digging into a topic that's crucial for your wallet, and it's budgeting.
The bad B word.
The B word.
I'm just kidding. It's not bad, but it's a word that people don't like.
Yeah, a lot of people do not like it. You can call it planning, or what other
I
words have people used to
I actually
explain
so
budgeting?
at one point I had stopped using budgeting and I started using spending plan.
Spending
So I've
plan,
been doing spending
yes.
plan and I know that somebody else uses the cash flow plan.
Yeah.
But yeah. But all
Yeah.
right, so
But
let's
budgeting
get
shouldn't
into
be
it.
a bad word. And we're going to break it down in a way that's easy to understand.
Yes. So let's do this. Imagine you're planning a road trip, the excitement, the open road. Now think of your budget as the GPS guiding you through that journey. It's not about just reaching your destination. It's about making sure you don't run out of gas and get lost in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely. Budgeting is your financial compass, and it helps you navigate through the twists and turns of your money life, making sure you're on the right track.
That's right. So picture this. You're getting paid and you're ready to conquer the month. But without a budget, it's like driving blindfolded. So you might hit some unexpected bumps, and before you know it, you're stuck on the side of the financial highway. Right, Chrissy? We know that feeling all too well.
Yes, I do know what it's like to just be stuck on the side of the highway, unfortunately. But definitely assessing your financial situation is like turning on that GPS. It gives you a clear picture of where you are and what turns that you need to take and how much fuel you got left in the tank to get to your
hmm
destination.
That's right. So,
The
budgeting
GPS
isn't
does not do that, but how cool would it be if it did?
Yeah, yeah.
GPS cannot tell you how much gas you have left, but these cars will tell you how many miles you have left.
I know. So that's a good point. I depend on that for getting gas. So even if like my fuel tank turns like is gonna be
Mhm.
empty, I'm like, well, let me how many miles I have left. Like click the button.
Right,
Like, oh, I still
right.
got time.
Yeah, so using the GPS, right? It says, 40 miles to your destination, and you're like, okay, I have 50 miles left in my car.
Yes.
How can I use this?
Oh man,
How can I
that's
plan
funny.
this wisely and make informed decisions?
Right.
Right?
That's funny. So, budgeting isn't just for the experts, it's for everyone who wants to take control of their money and enjoy the financial journey and prep for those unexpected moments. So, let's be real, these moments are going to happen.
100%. And that's why budgeting matters and it's important. It's your roadmap to a smoother, less stressful money ride. So, we're going to dive deeper into the budgeting world and what a budget looks like. And now that we've established why budgeting is like having a GPS for your money, let's just get down to the nitty gritty and talk about assessing your current financial situation.
Yes, yes, yes. So I know you guys may feel like, oh, this is so boring, but no, it's not. It's going to be fantastic. So at the end of it, it's going to be some type of freedom that you're going to get just
Hmm.
by, doing this budget and getting into that nitty gritty. So payday hits, bills start rolling in, and it's like your money is giving you that side eye. It's giving you that side eye, right? And you might be thinking, where did all that money go?
Yeah, I don't know how many times I wondered where my money went. Right, Jess? Like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
just sometimes it's like, okay, I did my budget, and when I'm going in to plug in some of the numbers, I'm like, wait a minute. I may have overspent in this category this month,
Mhm.
and that's not a good feeling to be in. But that's why it's really helpful when you make a budget that you actually make plans to stick to your budget
Well, I remember
because
I remember you used to say you ate your money.
yes. And you know what? I'm doing it again. But the difference is This time I'm planning for it. Last time I
Mhm.
did not. Last time I ate my money and I didn't have a plan for it.
Mhm.
And this time it's in my budget. So I know I'm eating my money, but I have it in my budget
Yeah.
so I can eat my money. Makes
It's
sense?
ne
There's a
Yes.
difference. There's a difference. And you definitely learn along the way. So when I was actively trying to get out of debt, we lowered our eating out budget to $100 a month because we had a habit of just spending money on eating out a lot. And we didn't have a real plan for it. Like when we sat down and looked at where our money was going, a lot of it was going towards eating out. So it's definitely something we had
Mhm.
to just cut back on to get ahead. With this process, you want to make it as
Mhm.
comfortable as possible because it can get overwhelming sometimes. So grab a cup of coffee, or if you need to take a shot, do that. We
Shot,
have
shot,
plenty
shot.
of footage of us taking shots on this podcast because sometimes we need shots. Just sometimes you
Mhm.
need it. So grab a piece of pen and a paper or a laptop. If you want to use an app, you can use an app. Or if you want to use like notes in your phone or something like that. But it's important to write this down. And it's like sitting down with your financial diary. So take a look at your monthly income, and that is your starting point for everything. You're going to list all of your income that you're planning to bring in for the following month. It's important that we're looking at the following month because budgeting is looking at the following month.
Yes, yes. She is correct. But you did say grab a piece of a pen. So you just want to make sure they grab
Grab something to write with, people. Grab a piece of paper and a pen, not a piece of a pen, because that will get you very far ahead in this budgeting game.
we need a full pen, guys.
A full
Full
pen,
pen.
not a piece of it. It's going to be a full pen because we're going to do a full budget. Income, expenses, spending, everything. The full.
Oh man. Okay. All right. So let's break down. Let's break down your monthly expenses.
Why are you yelling at me?
Oh man, my bad, guys. It was that piece of a pen. It got us. All right. Uh, so let's break down your monthly expenses. So we're gonna start off with fixed expenses. What is fixed? You're asking. Fixed and core expenses are bills that are the same amount each month, like your rent, your mortgage, your internet, the cable and phone bills, car, health, and life insurance, your car and student loans, maybe your Netflix subscription. I know you probably got Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, all those subscriptions every month, fixed, the same amount, those are included. And then we're also going to include utilities in this category because it's your core expense. Even though it varies monthly, it's still like one of your necessary expenses, and we want to include that in there. So if you want, feel free to pause this podcast wherever you're watching, pause the audio, pause the video, and start writing down your expenses down before we move on.
Right. So next, we're going to break down some variable expenses. And these are expenses that you have some control over, but the amounts can change from month to month. So, like groceries, giving, pet care, gas, personal necessities, any other debt payments you may have, like credit cards, any of your savings goals, or any planned spending that you want to do in the following month, like entertainment or vacations or things of that nature.
Any like nail stuff, hair stuff, like those fun things you want to do, even like kids' recreation. I did forget about those things. I kind of like put that money in there as well. So, and if at any point that you are unsure of all of your expenses because they're different every month, feel free to go back to your bank statement or your bank account and investigate it. And I would check, if I were you, I would check probably the past 3 months just to make sure what is consistent and, what was just maybe just like a one off that you don't want to include. And it kind of give you a better sense of what you're spending. Assessing your financial situation is like being the detective of your own money story. You're looking for the clues, you're looking for patterns and an understanding of where your dollars are, actually going. So after you have your variable and fixed expenses, I want you to total that up. And then I want you to take that total monthly income that you receive every month, and you're going to subtract that with the total fixed and variable expenses. And from there, we're going to see what you have left over.
Mm, Sorry. Yeah, so this will show you where you are right now, financially speaking. So knowing this baseline is key to crafting a realistic budget. Is there any money left over, or do you need to cut back on any expenses, or do you need to bring in more income? So doing this the first time can be eye-opening. And if you see how much money you have left and you're like, oh wait, I have all this extra money, what do I do with it? Or at this point you might also see that you're short each month. So in that case, you have to figure out, okay, what expenses can I cut out, or what can I do to increase my income? Or like Jess did, she started selling stuff in her house, like just
Mm-hmm.
looking around, hey, what can I sell, like to bring in a little bit of extra money
Mm-hmm.
temporarily if you need it, and part ways with some of the things that you're just not using at the moment.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the things I did was start selling stuff. So what happened was when I assessed my budget, I realized that we were spending more than we were bringing in. So at that point, it's just like, oh no, what are we going to do? This is why we're always negative. And I started selling stuff to bring in money, actually to start the emergency fund. And then I was like, okay, this is not going to solve it. What can I do? So we started a side hustle. And then from the side hustle, that was bringing the additional income that we needed to help. And then, like, negotiate bills and cut out things. So it was like, it's a process. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely needed to make sure that we can afford our expenses.
Yeah, and if there's anything on
Mhm.
that list that you're just not using anymore, then cut that out too. Like if you sign up
Mhm.
for some subscriptions in the past and you're not using them, then maybe it's time to just cancel it and get that money
Mhm.
back to put it to better use.
And I know that it's like small things, like some people are like, oh, but it's only $7. But when you add each thing that you don't use, it adds up. It
Yeah.
makes a difference. The small things, little things, it definitely adds up. So when you assess your financial situation, with situation is subscription, those two words is like a tongue twister. Uh, when you assess your financial situation, you're basically turning on like that money GPS. You're getting a clear view of where you are, where you need to go, and of course, where you want to be.
Yeah, and not your gas.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, we're here to break it down to make sure your financial journey is smooth and less stressful than trying to just wing it or do a budget in your head, like how I used to do. So, you're basically learning from our mistakes. And knowing where you currently stand is important. And ultimately, you want to have all your income designated for a purpose.
Hmm.
So, the end goal of your budget is to have all your income minus your expenses and your spending equals zero. And this is what's called a zero based budget. It's a plan for your money for the upcoming month.
Yes, I love zero-based budget because that's what I've always been using. I still use it to this day. And it's just making sure that every income coming in or every dollar that I have coming in is tied to something specifically. So even if I have money left over, I'm still tying that to something. Even it may be a savings for vacation, it may be going into my emergency fund. It's tied to something. So I am controlling my money. Like I
Yes.
having nobody else controlling it except me.
Yes.
Now,
And
yeah.
we are going to go into an episode later on setting financial goals, but some of those financial goals could be like, do you want to increase your investments? Do you want to
Mhm.
save for a specific purchase, like Jessica mentioned, the vacation? Or do you want to cut out some more expenses? Or what's the other one? What's the other ones?
You said debt payoff? Debt
Oh,
payoff.
I don't think I mentioned debt payoff. Yeah, so
Yeah.
debt payoff. If you want to pay off some debt, that's part of your setting your financial goals, and we will go into that in a future episode.
Yes, for sure. So, those are things to look over. And at any point, if you don't have money left over, then that's when you actually figure out what do I need to do to cover this money, to bring in that extra money. So I know that this is a lot of information and we don't want to overwhelm you, but we did wanted to give you like these little steps to just start your budget, just to build it and see where you are, to assess it. I hope that this has helped you and your GPS is navigating you to your financial progress. So stay connected as we will move on to other things like setting financial goals and spending, tracking, and all those things. We just want this to keep you on track and motivated.
Yes. So happy budgeting, everyone. And we'll see you in
Yes.
a future episode.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.